Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Doc Carlene. I am Ma'am Jean Tuburan, and I will be reporting about steps in valuing process and value indicators. Steps in valuing process. What is valuing process? Is a method by Carl Rogers to combat a person's incongruence or feelings of inadequacy despite having made several life achievements. It is then the person's responsibility to follow which path stays true to their values and will make them happy. So these are the steps in valuing process. Number one, choosing freely. A full value is a guide, a norm, a principle by which a person lives. The values that a person chooses freely are the ones that he or she will internalize, cherish, and allow to guide his or her life. So it is freely and willingly chosen without pressuring from others. You tend to listen to others' opinion by your friends and family, but still it will prevail your own free will. Number two, choosing from among alternatives. That a value must be chosen from alternatives follows from the first criterion that a value must be chosen freely. If there are no alternatives, there is no freedom of choice. So it has other alternatives to offer. So it is willing to listen to others' opinion and choice, and from that, you will be able to weigh things on which you are going to choose. Number three, choosing after thoughtful consideration of the sequences of each alternative. A value must be freely chosen after careful study of the consequences of each alternatives. Only after the foreseeable alternatives or option open to him or her are fully and clearly understood is a person able to make a free and intelligent choice. So it has been chosen carefully with consideration on its possible consequences. So you tend to review and analyze many times on what really your choice and options in choosing your own discussion in life. Number four, pricing and cherishing. A value is something a person feels positive about his or her prizes it, cherishes it, respect it, rejoices in it, and celebrate it. As the individual grows toward full development of his or her values, they derives increasingly greater contentment, satisfaction, fulfillment, and joy from the act of choosing their own destiny. So, it is well appreciated and prized. There is great happiness and joy and fulfillment in your choice of discussion in life. So number five, affirming. This is a criterion directly related to the preceding criterion that a value is cherished. When we have good news, we like to share it. When we discover a value that is freely chosen, the consequences of when we know and that make us happy, we want to tell others about it. So it is properly acknowledged in public. Like with friends and co-workers, we feel to tell them on what we feel. It may be good and what makes us happy. If we have happiness like promotions and love life. Number six, action upon choices. A value is acted upon, performed, carried out. It influences a person's behavior in some way. Thus, what a person does reflects his or her values. It is played in your behavior. So we tend to do or act on our choice in life in which we sometimes influence others' behavior. And then number 7, repeating. A value are acted on repeatedly and become a pattern of life. A value trends to permeate and influence all aspects of one's life. It is a lifetime value and not a fancy act. It becomes our lifetime act. It becomes a pattern, a routine that goes repeatedly. So let's go to values indicators. What is values indicators? Are expressions or behaviors that are promising areas for clarifying because they are headed towards values but they have not yet arrived. Number 1, expressions of purposes or aims. When student says that he or she intends to do something or he or she has a goal, it is an opportunity for teachers to ask if that was something he or she prized, had freely chosen, or had sought for some time. So I have here a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson that states, "The purpose of life is not to be happy, it is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well." Number 2, aspirations, are remote purposes or aims. Using the values clarification techniques, teachers can help students examine to see if they meet the criteria of a value. Our aspirations are our responsibilities by Robert Browning. Number 3, attitudes. When a student displays views about current issues, teachers can ask how deeply the attitude is felt, what prompted the attitude, and what activities it suggests. Your attitude is like a price tag. It shows how valuable you are. Number 4, interest. A student's interest can be temporary and short-term. Teachers can assist students to analyze their interest through the value clarification procedures as they become more owned rather than simply enacted. So based on the pictures, it shows that the students has its own interest in life. So we teachers teaches and guide them in choosing their interests in life because they have short-term or short span of time in a given activity. So we'd rather give or choose them some other activities in which they want to explore and learn from it. Number 5, feelings. Feelings as a construct almost suggests a non-cognitive reaction to an event, a question, or an issue. The value clarification approach suggests teachers prompt the students to think about his or her feelings, asking about their source and their consequences. So I have here a quote that states, "The reason why I keep my feelings to myself is because I can't explain them." So feelings is changeable. So like our learners, they show their different personality in a class, and we tend to be more flexible in dealing with them to cater their needs as well. Number 6, beliefs and convictions. While beliefs connote deeper ideas than mere attitudes, that they can also be reviewed by students through the values clarification approaches. Some will be promoted to values according to this theory. So I can't relate this to the sayings by John McDowell. Belief is knowing what you believe. Conviction is knowing why you believe it. Number 7, activities. When a student becomes engaged in activities, it is appropriate to ask him or her if there are alternatives to consider or whether it was freely chosen. So it shows to the picture that it is much more effective and become appropriate with learners that will engage in different activities in which they like or mostly do that activities they want to be engaged of. Number 8, worries, problems, obstacles. This category of indicators suggests that the student's reactions are unformed. The possible approaches the students might take are ill-formed, and the values clarification prompts can move students to firmer plans and action. So, forget all your worries, problems, and obstacles in life because we Filipinos are flexible. We always take on to the brighter side of everything, especially in this time of pandemic because obstacles make you stronger. That's all for my report. Thank you and God bless.